Okay, great. So welcome everybody. I'm really excited to see some new faces, some family and friends and acquaintances here. And I'm really happy to have our second online event with the Chapter House. So I'm going to get us started, and then I'm going to hand this over to Katie Jans, who's going to introduce SA. And I have been working with both SA and Katie now for a while, and they're both really great friends and collaborators. And I've just been really lucky to get the Chapter House off the ground. Today, I'm coming to you from Los Angeles, and I just want to honor and say thank you to the Tongva, whose land that I'm on now, and honor their ancestors and their elders and those who are presently with us and their future generations. So I would like to hand this off to Katie, but before I do, obviously, we are the Chapter House. We are an Indigenous organization based around the arts and community. We're a native space, but all are welcome. And everybody who wants to learn and share, please continue to join us. For now, we're all digital, but soon we will have a brick and mortar space. What soon means is obviously something that COVID will have a lot to do with, but we're hoping it's sooner rather than later. So to hand this off to Katie, I just want to give an intro here. Katie and I have known each other for almost 3 years now. And this is a pretty brief intro, but she is an amazing woman and an amazing ally and advocate. Katie is Hapa, or Mixed American Japanese and White. She's the research manager for the Navajo Water Project with Dig Deep Water, which is a human rights organization. And she's a volunteer and collaborator of the Chapter House. Katie earned her bachelor's degree in political science at UC Santa Barbara here in California. She's also native to Arcadia, and now lives in Los Angeles. And she is an animal lover, especially cats, a useless trivia collector, to use her words, and an amateur crocheter. Katie and I not only bond over human rights, Native issues, and talking about similarities between Asian Americans and Native Americans and Indigenous peoples, but also we share love for fibers in the arts and materials and different things. So I'm going to go ahead and have this go over to you now, Katie.
Yeah, thank you so much for that, Emma. And can I actually ask everybody also, if my internet is unstable, very apologetic for that. But can I ask everybody to switch over to speaker view right now? And later we'll kind of like move around between speaker and gallery. But just for now, speaker view would be great. Thank you. So yeah, I am Katie Jans. I've been a volunteer with the Chapter House for a bit now. Yeah, like Emma said, I am an amateur crocheter. So when SA said that she wanted to do this finger weaving demonstration, I was like, I have so much yarn. I would love to join. Literally, like, I'm surrounded by yarn right now, and like, that's not even the yarn I'm going to be using. Yeah, I've been crocheting not a very long time, just a couple of years now, but it's something that I really enjoy doing in my spare time. It's a really good project to do when you're watching TV or listening to a podcast and just trying to unwind. And so, yeah, it's kind of why I'm really interested in fiber arts and learning more and figuring out new ways to use yarn. And yeah, so with that said, I want to just turn it over to the amazing SA Lawrence-Welch. I'll read a little bio from her, and I've been practicing, so please forgive me if I do not pronounce these right, but I am giving it my best shot. So SA Lawrence-Welch, pronouns she, her, hers, or they, them, theirs. She is the Kakichi Haiwiwen project director at Seeding Sovereignty Outreach at Red Hawk Native American Arts Council, co-creator of the Oki Language Project, and board vice president of the Chapter House. She is a Métis and Niheo, sorry, Indigenous, thank you so much, SA. Indigenous advocate, organizer, speaker, activist, artist, and writer. Their main focus of work has been on the lasting damage of the residential school system, Indian boarding schools, the 60s scoop left on First Nations people. They are an advocate for community gathering and cultural connection as a form of healing trauma. Essay's goal is to see Indigenous representation and leadership in historically and presently non-Indigenous spaces. So I will hand it over to you. Thank you, Essay.
Kinan Skomet and Katie and Emma. I'm really excited to be here. I'll do a formal introduction in Michif, which is Tanshe, Essay de Shinikashun, Ne Nehio, Pe Michif, Treaty 6 de Shin, Clackamas, Kalapuya, Pe Chinook, Niwikin, Latar Niwikin actually, and Mon Famille, Shinikashu, Lawrence, Anderson, Paygardapi. So hi, my name is Essay. I am Nehio, which is Plains Cree, and Michif, which is known by its common tongue word of Métis. I'm originally from Treaty 6 territory in what's known as Alberta, Canada, but I presently live on Clackamas, Kalapuya, and Chinook lands, known by its colonized name as Portland, Oregon. My family names are Lawrence, Anderson, and Gardapi. And yeah, I'm just really excited to spend time with you all and share something from my culture that I think kind of with textiles, especially, I think there's such a branch and an outreach of commonalities in textiles for a lot of different nations from across the globe. So there's a lot of things that we can connect with on those. And I think sometimes, especially with weaving or crocheting or connecting things, it's us connecting to each other. You know, this is a way of when you work with community, you're weaving people together, and it's a really cool thing. A little bit of background on the Michif people, the Métis people. So we are a very interesting mix of folks. We are our own nation in Canada and are present in the United States, and I'll get into that history in a moment. But long story short, French trappers and Scottish trappers came across into what's known now as present-day Canada and fell in love with the beautiful Cree, Assiniboine, Anishinaabe, Assiniboine, and Ojibwe women. And we created a language, we created cultural practices, and we are recognized by the Canadian government as a nation, not under First Nations. We are our own nation, much like the Inuit. So we have a lot of practices that seem very Eurocentric, but that are obviously twisted and woven within Native values and practices. So one of the thing that we're going to be doing today is creating some very basic finger weaving. I wanted to show you a couple of things right off the bat here. So this is the ceinture fletchie, which is our sash that we wear. Men or male presenting folks tend to wear them around their waist. Women or femme presenting folks tend to wear them across their left shoulder. We wear them in ceremony. There's several different colors that can be highlighted in them for what they look like or how they're woven. And each color represents anything, but this is the typical one. We do have flags in our nation, and I'll explain that in a moment too, but just to kind of get a little bit of the history of this sash. So it was used for a lot of things. My favorite story though is always about how the voyageurs wore them to support their backs during travel. So when they're hunched over in a canoe or walking or in a cart and going across to trap, to do any of the practices that would help supply food and shelter to their families, they'd wear them as a back brace. And I really like that because as I just turned 37 this year, I'm like, oh, suddenly there's pain. Cool, I need to rectify that. So I need to start wearing my sash as something to help with my back pain. The red in the sash symbolizes the blood of the Michif people that was shed while we fought for our rights to live. The blue shows the depth of our spirits as people, and it's also one of the colors of our flag. We have two different flags, one's blue and one's red, and they both have the infinity symbol in the center. And the infinity symbol, side note, symbolizes the longevity of our people. The green in the sash symbolizes the fertility of our nation and our connection to land. The white symbolizes our connection to earth and creator. The yellow symbolizes prosperity for our nation and the prospect of prosperity. And then mine doesn't contain black, but sometimes you'll see a cincture fleshy that has black in it, and it symbolizes a very dark period for our people after 1870, when we were incredibly suppressed, and we were under the dispossession of our land, and there was actually bounties on Métis people. So we were pushed into Western Canada from Eastern Canada, and actually there's a settlement just outside of Portland where I live. There's a joke that the Red River cart made its way pretty far at times because we weren't wanted anywhere, being known as half-breeds, and that's technically what Métis means. So today, what we're going to be doing is creating garters, and I wanted to show a couple examples. So these are the garters that I traditionally wear. We will not be doing this today though, because it is a lot of excess weaving and a lot of thread. But we usually wore them to tie up our pants, if we had gauntlets on our legs, leather, that sort of thing, to hold things into place. I actually have here, I wanted to show, like with weaving and what I was mentioning earlier, I did a trade, because that's what we do as Native peoples, is trade all the time. So I did a trade with somebody to for these moccasin ties, and they were made by a Diné person. And I was really excited to trade with them for some of the weaving that I did. So first off, I will show you what we're going to be doing. And then I just want to do a quick intro with everybody here just to say hi, and then we can get started, because this is going to be a long process. But this is, if you go to the, actually, could you pin the screen, Emma? With that, okay. You can see the screen with my fingies on it. You can see what we'll be making today. So it's just a very strong, structured woven belt, or sash, or mini sash. And this was used in a pinch for anything. You know, if you needed rope, this was here. You could just pull it off your garter. If you needed first aid, tourniquet, anything. Like this literally did everything. Like I don't know how my people would have survived without them, but this is the smaller version of what we'll be making today. If everyone wants to actually throw on to gallery view, I just want to do a quick introduction, because I'd like to kind of meet each one of you. And if you just say your name, your nation, and where you're calling in from, that would be really cool. And anybody can start, or I'll start calling names, because that's how I roll.
I don't mind. Hi, guys. I don't normally volunteer, but since no one's volunteering, I don't mind. My name is Melita Murray, and I am Amskapi Pikani, which is Blackfeet. We are located in Montana. I am located in Thousand Oaks, California. I believe I'm on Chumash territory. And yes, hi, I'm here, and I'm excited.
I'll say hi from Chicago. I'm Pat, and behind me you'll see Nuala and Therese, and we're Emma's family through Aza, and we're excited to do some just to be involved and to see everybody and to say hi and to learn some finger knitting. Oh, and our cat Ruby's here. Nuala would like her to say hello too, but Ruby! I'm not sure where she's at the moment, so we'll pass it on.
I can go next. Hello, my name is Cynthia Robbins, Unishia, Bilagana Nishla, and everything else is Bilagana. But my, as you can see, my daughters, all three of my daughters, Emma, Izzy, and Natalia are here, and they are Diné or Navajo, and I think I see their dad behind Natalia. And most importantly, my granddaughter, Wiley. Where are you, Wiley? Get her over there. anyway, that's my granddaughter. Soon I'm going to have another one, and I'm beyond thrilled. Our family is really excited about that, and we love our kids. I'm always so impressed when I watch Emma's presentations because of all the there's so many strong, you know, to me, like strong young women, and you're also articulate. I think it's really cool, and I'm really amazed at everything you're doing. So, you know, keep it up. And Aza's family, I'm happy to meet you. I've never met you before, but I'm Cynthia. So thank you for having me here. I'm looking forward to it.
I'll go. Hi everyone, I'm Izzy. As my mom introduced me a little bit, I'm Dana, and I'm calling from Tucson, which is Otam land.
I'll go. I'm Atawe. I'm Penobscot, and I'm calling from Mohegan Pequot territory, and it is cold, which is why I'm wearing a million leather. So I'm happy to get weaving.
Hi, I'm Natalia, Emma's other sister. Yeah, we're Navajo Diné. I'm calling from Tuba City, Tonanestaza on the Navajo Nation. Wiley's here, my dad's here. Wait.
Hi. Oh. Hello, everybody. Nice to see you all. Thank you.
Hey y'all, I'm Caitlin. I'm calling from Kinlani or Flagstaff, Arizona. I'm so excited to be here and learn some finger weaving with y'all tonight.
Hi everyone, I'm Julie. I'm calling from San Luis Obispo, California, which is Chumash land. And yeah, really excited to meet you all and learn a little bit.
Hi everyone, my name is Sally. I'm a friend of Katie's. I'm currently in El Monte, California, which is on Tongva territory, and I'm excited to be here. I'm gonna have my camera off because I'm actually supposed to be working until 6, but I'm excited to learn.
Hi, I'm Yera, also Emma's family. Hello, I'm in Chicago, which is on traditional Ojibwe, Ottawa, and Potawatomi lands, and I'm really excited to be here. Thanks.
All right, we got a couple that aren't on screen, and I won't put anyone else on the spot for this now, but I just, for me, it's really important to just know people's names, hear their voices, and that just kind of creates that first sense of we're in this together for the next, 50 minutes. So or how long do we have left here? Are we going to a quarter after the hour? So we gotta get rolling here. So let's pick it up. All right. So everyone have their supplies. You have a stick of some sort, a chopstick, a dowel, a pencil, something of that nature. Just have that placed in front of you, and we're going to get to our wool. So I was in a group last night, and my friend said something really funny, which was with measuring, you'll need a piece of string about the size of a hug. And that made me laugh. We won't need that much, but we'll need half a hug worth of yarn today. So what I'm going to have you do is what we're going to need is 12 pieces of yarn. Each piece of yarn is, we're going to need 4 pieces of each color of yarn. That's about 1.5 to 2 feet long, whatever you're more comfortable with or you feel like you can work with. I say half a hug. So I'm going to do, that looks like about 2 feet to me. So I'm going to go back and forth here and just make until I have 4 strands that are side by side. You can see here. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna grab our scissors and cut those. And make sure that they're all separate, so they're all their own pieces of yarn. We're gonna lay those out in front of us. So I'm using a couple muted colors because I am like to pretend I'm a goth Indian and I like darker stuff. So when everyone's done, just give me a thumbs up or or hold up all the yarn in front of this. Just do this, just give a thumbs up, like right in front of the screen.
How many pieces do we need?
4 of each color.
4 each color. Okay, thank you.
4 of each color at roughly 2 feet, 1.5 feet to 2 feet in length. And they should all be separated. So when you're folding them in half to measure them out to make them similar, just make sure you're cutting them so they're each their individual piece.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
I was just wondering, I have kind of a weirdly textured thread. Part of it is, another part of it kind of isn't. I don't know if you can see in there.
I'm finding you right now. Where are you?
Oh, I'm sorry. My name is Mia.
Okay, you're Mia. Sorry. I'm looking at the top of the screen, so I'm just like searching through. Yeah. So it's, you know what? You can use that. That might actually help as an identifier, to be honest with you, in this.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah. No sweat. As everyone's cutting, I'll show you here. So I've got my Métis Nation of Alberta mug here filled with red rose tea. And that's like, if you want to talk about positive native stigmas, everyone from the Métis Nation drinks this red rose tea. This is what it looks like. And my nation went so far as to actually brand their own version of the orange pico tea. So we're just kind of like, we like what we like. Is everyone still working on cutting the lengths? Okay.
I love tea. Where do you get your tea?
So the red rose tea I order online because I haven't found it in the United States unless it's in one of the specialty like Euro sections of a grocery store. So yeah, I order it a lot by big boxes because I send them out in kits that I send out to community members who need a little reminder that they're valid and they're loved and they're needed. All the work I do usually stems around forced assimilation or assimilation of Native people. So when coming back to culture, it's always important for people to find each other and find commonalities and create common experiences. And that's how we can grow. And even though we're not from the same nations, we can always encourage each other to find more about our nations, our peoples, find out our origins, and cultivate the best possible versions of ourselves in that. And always have a community to come back to. That's why I'm really fortunate to be a part of the chapter house. I find, you know, my relationship with Emma has been very special for me, somebody who is like-minded and has similar values, but we don't come from the same nation. We don't have the same practices, but we have a love for each other and we support each other in who we are and what we do. And that to me is the biggest part of community.
Essay real quick. I bought red rose tea at the Hawthorne Fred Meyer in Portland.
What?
Yeah, I drink it all the time. And that's where I used to buy it.
Okay, straight up, like that bums me out so much because like
oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I ordered, you can buy the big
Yeah.
like the boxes of it, right? With the individual, because I get the individually wrapped ones because I send them out too, right? I bought a 6-box crate of each box has 100 bags. I have 600 bags of tea right now because I'm like, I buy in bulk because I could never find it here. So.
Oh no.
Yeah. Is everyone cut up? We're good. I'm just going to go through. We're all good. If anyone's not, please drop a note in the chat right now. I don't want anyone to be left behind, and I also want to get you all rolling because we got about half an hour here to learn how to start it. And once the project started, you're good to go. It's like second nature to do it, but it's setting it off right away. I think of it as like glorified friendship bracelet making. I'm like, when my friends would be doing this when we were kids, I'd be like weaving a sash. They're like, no, we're making a friendship bracelet. Like, it's the same thing. So yeah. So if everyone's good, we're going to go on to the next step. So you're going to take your chopstick, your dowel, whatever you're using. I found these at the craft store and I love them because they're slightly raised off of my desk. So I've got room underneath, but you don't need that. What you're going to do first is take your first section of colors of threads. So I'm going to start with my browns, and you're going to take it, leave about, I don't know if you can see this, but leave about 2 inches over the top, like you're going to overlap it, and then bring it around. Sorry, what's that there? And then you're going to do it with the next ones. So put it over, leave about 2 inches and wrap it around. And then slide it to the left. And you're gonna do that with every single one of your pieces of yarn. Oop, I lost one there.
Are we alternating colors yet?
You're not, you're going by groups of color. So I've started with like my brownish blackish color. And okay, you can see here that when you wrap them around, I'll do one really slow with the black here. Actually, let me do the red in the center just so this is easier for me to show. So I'll drop this over top, right? And then I hold it in place with this finger and I wrap it around just to make that loop. So you've got the littler piece of yarn hanging off the back in the center in between each one.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no sweat. This is usually where I get tired and I stop and I'm like, I'll do this tomorrow. Hang it over top and wrap it around. And when y'all get really good at this, you can do it with like 50 strands and learn the different weaving techniques so you can make different designs. This is a very simple lightning bolt design that we'll be doing today, but there's so many freaking cool designs, especially the ones that came from like the Eastern Shorelands or the Haudenosaunee and that they made some really cool stuff.
So I'm assuming you said to move it to the left. I'm assuming if you're left-handed, you move it to the right. Is that correct?
No, it has to be done in this way. So because you want everything. You're always going to start with the, wow, now I just went backwards when I was thinking about that. You're always going to start, wow, now my brain just stopped. You're always going to start on the right. So you're pushing things to the left. So you're going to start weaving on the right. So once everyone is done that, we'll move to the next step here.
I say, can you do a close-up of what the top of it looks like?
Yeah, so this is actually the next step. So what you're going to do is you're going to pull this tight so it's secured around your dowel. So there should be, sorry, this is really hard to show, but it should look something like that. Basically at this juncture, we're just trying to secure this around. So there's like, it's just wrapped around like a little loop on the back and the threads are coming out the top. Awesome. So is he there? Okay, is everyone there? And then what you're going to do is you're going to take the short ends and the long ends, I made one longer there, and give them a nice secure tug. Now there's two ways you can do this. I forgot to mention it when we were writing down the supplies. I usually tie it with a little elastic band to help me tie off later. But what I'm going to just have you all do today is take this little end here and tie it off into a knot. So all of them are in a knot. So here, sorry, my Band-Aid's getting in the way. This one doesn't want to come out.
Mine are a little bit awkwardly short. Can I use tape instead?
Yeah, you know what? I recommend, like, because I said sometimes they'll be shorter. So if you have an elastic band, you can always just tie it around the end there just to fasten it, and it'll look like a little like sideshow bob head, but it'll hold it in place because you're to tie them off at the end too. I know we probably won't have time to get there today, but I can maybe show you with how far I get along weaving how to tie them off on the other end, and then you can see that. But yeah, so right there, I just tied them off with an elastic band, so it looks like a little poof. And so from here is where you're going to tape it to your desk, so or your flat surface in front of you. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I usually do this on the wall, so it's fun for me to do it on a flat surface. I stand and do squats as I weave. And you can even tape down the top too of the little hairs and stuff that are there so they don't get in your way. And everyone can see my little rig here. So when everyone gets there, we'll take the next step. Is everyone rigged up?
I think I need maybe like another minute.
Okay. All right, so since we're waiting, if anyone has any jokes, I love a good clean joke, and I know some of you have probably heard these before, but one, so one of my favorite jokes of all time. How much does a pirate pay to get his ears pierced? A buccaneer, right? Okay. How many tickles does an octopus have? Tentacles. Then there's one that like a lot of people don't get, but I think it's the funniest joke I've ever heard in my life is, what do you call a white woman with one leg? Eileen. What do you call a native woman with one leg? Not even. Those are just like my favorite because they're so like PG. And like, I don't think we need swears and jokes to laugh because yeah, anyway. All right, so is everyone there? Emma, did you get rigged up? Are you getting rigged up?
Yeah, I'll be ready to go in just like a couple seconds here. You can go on without me, please, if everybody else is comfortable.
So the main thing with finger weaving is to remember that it's always over under. And so what you're going to do is you're going to take on, and you always start on the right hand side for weaving. So, or for this particular weaving method. So you take your first string on the right hand side, and what you're going to do is you're going to go over and then under and follow the, oh wait, I got a little crooked there. Try and keep the strings as flush as they possibly can up at the top here. So again, so I'm going to restart myself because I made a boo-boo and I wasn't super smooth. All right, so we're going to go take this one and it's going to go over, and then we're going to feed it under the next thread and over that one, and then under, and then over, and then under, and then over, and then under. Then here we go. Once we get to the end, pull your string out all the way to the left and flatten up your strings again so they're flush. Once you've done that, this is the next step. So you're going to take this guy and you're going to bring up this end string and put it over top and pull this one down. And that secures it in place.
Can you go over that step again?
Yeah, absolutely. So what you're going to do is once this string, the one that you just wove through your bars of or your lengths of yarn, you're going to bring it all the way over to the left-hand side. Then you're going to take the string on the farthest left and bring it up and bring it over. And then you're going to bring that string that you had at the far left out. Then you're going to come back to this side again, to the right-hand side, and you're going to start all over again with over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under. And you pull that one out all the way to the left again, bring it up, and then bring this the string that was up top down, and you're going to pull that up and make sure it's tight. So just a little bit by holding your strings at the bottom again. And again, starting with the one furthest out to the right, it'll look like it's at the bottom of the strings, but on the bottom level in between the weaving, and start again over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under, over, and then under, and then you're gonna, oh heaven's sakes. See, I just messed myself up, so I'm gonna have to go back there.
I have a question.
Yes.
Is it always the one that you throw on the top and then bring the next one over it? It's always a new string, right? It's not the
Right.
same one over and
It's
over?
always a new string, yeah.
Okay, and I have to say, I don't know if it's cultural to start from the right, I can do that, but I really can't do anything very well with my right hand, so.
If you like, that's just the practice. You know, I had a friend last night in a class also say that, you know, there's ways that we learn how to do things, so we teach in that way, but you can move things to do them how they work for you.
Okay, great.
There's no necessary cultural protocol. I'm just teaching you in the way that I was taught. And so that's, if it works better for you going the opposite direction, by all means.
Okay.
So I'm just fixing that up. So over, under, over, under.
I need to watch the ending again.
The
ending? Yeah, when you reach the end, on the second row, for some reason, I got lost.
Okay, here, hang on one second. I will, there we go. So let me pull this out. So you've got your string that's up, right?
Right.
And then you've got the one that you've just pulled across and woven through. What you're gonna do is you're gonna, to make this really easy, you can take the top string here and put it to like, I don't even know what clocks are, like 10 o'clock in front of you. And then take the one that's pointing at 9 and bring it up to 12. And then you're gonna take the one that was pointing at 10 or 11 o'clock and bring it back down and put it into your hand and then tighten up.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll look a little loose, but it comes together. And every time you go, just pull that little string on the end that's pointing up at 12 o'clock. Just give it a nice little tug, not too hard, but enough that it holds it in place. And then you just keep going over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under. I'll bring this one up, holding my strings really tight. And then I'm going to bring this one up and bring the other one down and give that a nice little tug to hold it in place. And then again, moving on to the next color now, over, under, over, under, over. This is really hard to do with a Band-Aid. I've never done it with one on my thumb, and I'm like, it's very slippery, and I feel like I'm being challenged, and I'm so glad that you all get to witness me do this, because it shows that I am not an infallible creature. Or that I am an infallible creature. I don't know how to say that better. So that goes up, black one comes back down for me here. Then over, under, over, under, under, over, under, there we go. Nice little tug.
Okay, I'm sorry. What is, sorry.
Yeah, no worries. We're learning together.
You do your first one and you get to the end and you put it up, like straight up and down. Which one do you bring down over it?
So the string that you, so the one that's up, the string that you just wove through, right? So this one I just pulled through my my yarn. I'm going to bring that one up to 12 o'clock, crossing over the one that's already at 12 o'clock and bringing it down and bringing it back into a line.
So you have to have one finished before you can bring one down?
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly. And that's what secures it in place on the end. It'll look like a little beret on the side that it's woven in place.
Okay.
Yeah. Over, under, y'all are gonna have nightmares about me saying over under for a couple nights.
So are we bringing the original one back down or the second one?
The original one, the one that you, so the most recent one goes up as new and the other one comes down as old.
But then the original one kind of like crosses over it, like it goes to 9 o'clock and crosses down?
Yeah.
Okay, that makes more sense. Thank you.
Yes. So over. And you might notice that there might be gaps. Like the other thing too is sometimes with the weaving, depending on the colors that you're using, like I already noticed that I have a couple gaps where there's a loop that's missing, or I missed a gap and it didn't weave through properly. There's ways of checking it. And I can definitely, when this blog goes up, leave up notes about that. But the thing is like, you know, it's not always going to be perfect, right? Like these are things that were done out of necessity and they're just traditions that have been passed on. And if something's perfect, you know, I always get really mad when I see really good beadwork or really good weaving, because I'm like, oh, they've either done this for a really long time or they're too much of a perfectionist and I don't want to wear something that has that type of energy in it. So just remember that this is all like the process of trying and, you know, people that are good at things right off the bat, that's cool for them.
I just started following Elias Not Afraid. Did you guys see him? He's in Vogue. He's
Yeah, he's cousins with my cousin.
Oh, okay, yeah. And I saw one of the things he said, because you were talking about like being very detailed. He said that when he was younger, he started pre-holing before he beaded, so the lines were straight.
Yeah.
So that's why his lines are so straight.
Yeah, one of my friends, he's a really amazing beater as well. And, you know, some of his techniques and stuff, I'm just like, now that I've learned them, I'm like, oh, you're not so perfect. Like, that just always makes me feel better about myself and the work that I do. But that's the thing about art, like any type of art, like to me, this is art. This is like, you know, I think it's called like folk art or however people explain these things, like traditional stuff. But it's, you know, I don't believe in perfection. And I think that there's nothing perfect necessarily in nature either. And so in weaving and doing things like this, it just makes me value my time and my patience and my energy and my willingness to try things again until I feel like they're good enough to give as gifts to people.
Hey, Esther, can you? Oh,
sorry, go ahead, Emma.
Is that Katie? Oh, I was just going to say, can you go over the end once more?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me just go through a line and then I can actually show you here because I can bring it up.
So yeah, bringing it up like that's awesome to be able to see it. Yeah.
I was just trying to get ahead so I could do that a little bit. But yeah, so you can see it's already turning into a thing, hey? But so you're going to take the last string here. Hang on, let me go over. Wow, this is really hard to do with a Band-Aid on, and I don't want you guys to see my janky finger because I care about you all too much. Okay, so Emma, this thread that was the last one that was woven through, right, stays up top. And what I'm going to do is the one that I just wove through, I'm going to give it a little tug to make sure it's tight across. Then I'm going to take the one that was at 12 o'clock and put it to 11 o'clock. I'm going to take the one here, cross it right over top of the one that was 12 o'clock and that's now at 11 o'clock, and then pull that one down, give it a little tug, and this one stays at 12 o'clock now.
Cool, thank you.
So the string that you're weaving through is the one that goes up, or is it the previous one? It's that same one.
It's the same one, the one that is going through. So you can see I'm weaving this one black thread through right now. And
Yeah.
as soon as I pull it, all right. So as soon as I pull it out to the side here, because I've just woven it through, I'm going to bring it straight up and it crosses. See how I just crossed over the brown one? I'm going to bring the brown one down and give the one that I just put up a little tug. Let's see here. There. And I suppose I should have been used my due diligence a little bit more and used a bit of a different color yarn instead of my gothy blacky brown. So it would show better. I'm sorry, friends, I didn't think about that, but hindsight is 2020. So again, I'm taking the one furthest to the right, going over, always starting with over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under, and then when I pull that one through and make it tight, bring it back up to cross the other one at 12 o'clock and bring that down, give it another little tug so it's holding in place. And end again, over, under, and again, always making sure that you're keeping your thread colors together, that they're in uniform. And I pull that through, straighten out my lines, give that a tug, put it up top, bring this one back down, give it a tug. Like I said, when y'all get really, really good at this, you can do it with like 50 strings at once and it looks really cool. And you'd have either a really, a really sick headband or belt. But the really cool thing with this type of weaving at that it's near, like it's hard to destroy, it's hard. And so it's really useful. Use it when I go camping, making lengths of this. Hunting was a big one when I was a kid. You can, with something that's even this 12 yarn strand method, you can make a pulley to pull a muley or a whitetail into a tree so you can dress it. How's everyone doing? Anyone want to show me what they got?
Essay, does this look possibly right? I think I need to like undo it because I got my colors mixed up, but like this.
Let's see here. I can't see it. I'm gonna have to go on to.
Hang on, I also am confused.
Oh yeah, I can. That looks great.
Awesome.
Yeah, you're getting it.
Yeah, it took me a minute, but getting it. Oh, Essay, what I was gonna say earlier was just when I crochet, every time I do a project and I finish it and I'm like, oh my God, I see all these mistakes.
Yeah.
And I get so upset. And then I'm just like, you know what? Next project, I'll know not to do that. And it's like, it's actually really fun to make those mistakes and then learn something new.
Exactly. And the thing is like, even somebody who would be considered an expert doing anything, you know, we still get to make mistakes, because that's the blessing and curse of being a human being walking on this celestial plane. Tell me about it. I do it all the time.
Absolutely.
So.
I made the
It's
mistake.
also,
Right. This is sorry.
No, please go ahead.
I chose yarn that changes color. And so this looks kind of like a knotted mess, but it's going.
It's going though, you know, you're like, that's the thing. This is like, you know, we're doing this. Sorry, I'm relogging on so you can see my hands here again. My phone just did a whole spasm. There. Is that back? Hang on a second. Close. All right. Can everyone see my hands still?
Yes.
Okay. Cool. All right. I'm sorry about that. I had a call coming in. So yeah, like it's a really simple thing, but it's just like, to me, work can be very stressful, and there's a lot of stuff that, you know, we have to endure as just human beings, you know, in our day-to-day lives, and still acclimating to everything that's happening in the world. So this is always a good way to kind of release that tension and that sadness, is just hyper focusing on something and letting your mind melt into it, you know, or having something where you can do, like, I can do this watching TV now because I've done it so many times, or like I said, standing up against a wall and doing squats while I pretend that I'm actually creating something. There's a couple of videos too that once we get this up as a blog, you'll be able to, I'll send them to Emma and Katie so they can be referenced by y'all. It's just a easy way to make
Yeah, I was also going to say, you know, along with what we're talking about, like Navajo weavers or basket makers, they always leave at least one little mistake on purpose in like a rug or a basket. Talia, what is that called? Do you remember what it's called? Or Izzy or anybody else who's Navajo on this call?
I'm not Navajo, but it's called a spirit, what is it? Spirit line, or?
I've heard of spirit beads.
I think it's a spirit hole or spirit line. But even like really perfectly, you know, beautiful woven rugs, like for sale or whatever, they, you always can find one. It's kind of cool.
Mm-hmm. I'm just gonna jump in here for a second. I know that it's a little bit after 6:15 Pacific time. I know we're all in different locations, but I want to make sure that we're being respectful of everybody's time and Friday evenings. So you're more than welcome to stick around with us. But Essay, is there anything for those who may need to go? But again, please stay with us if you can, that you want those individuals to know?
You know, honestly, I was just about to show the tie-off method at the end here. I was just trying to get one last
okay, cool.
One last ring in, if you will. So I'll show you all here. So I've gotten a pretty good length. This, I think, will probably be a Barbie doll scarf for my daughter's toys, but it's a nice length to tie off. So the last strand that I just woven through will stay off to the side. What you're going to do is that last strand, you're going to be tying around it, right? So what you're going to do is you're going to take, if you lift up these two strands, the two on the right hand side, the ones closest to the edge, you'll be able to see that woven piece between them if everyone takes a quick peek at that, right? So you'll see the piece that was just woven through between those two.
what you're going to do is you're going to take it, and very simple. This is the simplest tie off method, is literally doing a knot and bringing it down, but not too tight. Just make sure it's still a little bit loose. So you can see that right there. So just right around that one first woven piece, and then you're going to do it with the next one. Because the piece you just wove through should be in between each one of these as you tie the knot. And then this next one here. And just make sure it's a gentle tie off right now, because we're going to do another knot at the end of each one of these. So
Yeah, and just to interrupt again, I sent the girls a, come on, Mom. It's called a spirit line, and I sent Emma a picture. You can see it like right, I don't know. I sent Emma the photo, so if you want to post it, you can see where the imperfection is.
I love that.
Navajo rugs.
So I'm going to tie off this last one here. And then after these are all loosely tied off into little knots, I'm going to go in and I'm going to take, so there's 2 knots here, there's ones beside each other. I'm going to cross them over. So in the middle here, I'm going to leave this one on the end, take the knot is here and here, right? So the first knot we tied from these 2, and the second one we tied from these 2 over here. I'm going to take the middle and I'm going to knot that off as well. And then I just continue that all the way down. There's ways of doing fancy tie-offs, which I'll show you on, I think one of my sashes has fancy tie-offs. But this is just a really simple way to fasten it. And then also that you have length left over in case you want to use the rest of it. So it becomes this, I'm just gonna maybe make one more knot on this one. So it's you'll see here, it's just, I can't really get the angle here, but it's just tied off in a series of knots at the top, right? I'll show you a closer up version of what that looks like on this guy here. Like it's literally just big knots that have come together and you're tying off. So the red and the blue are tied off here, the green and the blue and the yellow are tied off here. And it's just to tie off each end of the sash that you've got a little knot. It's a little harder to see on thicker yarn, so I apologize about that. But then you do the same for the other end of the dowel, and yeah, then you've got your, or you can just do big knots like this one is that I was showing my daughter the other day, and you've got your, like it's really strong, but yeah, you've got your little woven miniature Métis sash. Oh, thanks, Julie. Yeah, no, this is fun. You know, like the thing is I'm not an expert in this. This is just honestly me sharing something from my culture that I love and something that brings me a little bit of reprieve. And I'm just glad I get to share it with you all. It's, I don't believe in, you know, doing pan-Indigenous activities or cultural appropriation, but I do believe in sharing things and finding community. And I think that this is a really great way, a safe way for everyone to get along without hurting each other, you know? So if anyone ever says that, like, oh, you, like, where do you get that? Or whatever, be like, no, an actual Michif person gifted me this skill. So up yours, sorry. And that's the other thing too, is this is my gift to you, is to gift a skill that I have. And I'm not the best at it, but I enjoy doing it and I enjoy spending time with people while we learn.
Thank you, Essay.
Thanks, Essay.
Yeah. If I can do one plug, I would just like to, I know everyone that's in here, but that knows the chapter house or, has some familiarity with it. And just honestly, like, I know that all of you have supported it in your own ways, but sharing it out and creating space for people to learn about the chapter house, I think is incredibly important. There's so many things that I know Emma has on the horizon that she really wants to do. And the more eyes we have on it, the better chance of finding funding and making things like this accessible to people, obviously sending out kits to people to do art projects or community events. Native people especially have a lot of insecurities when it comes to financial spending, of unnecessary spending, or what's considered unnecessary spending, although I don't really believe in that term. And so the more you share this out, the more people are going to be able to donate and allow people to partake in these community activities and make them accessible for people. So yeah, I'm just so excited to be a part of this and share time and space with people. And I want more people to be able to have that access as well.
Essay, I want to thank you again for doing this. It's been really, really fun. I have to go soon, but I think maybe I'm doing something wrong because I'm getting awfully triangular.
You know what? The triangular isn't bad. The triangular isn't bad. You just need to, when you're bringing up your string, make sure you're pulling it a little bit tight because you're creating triangular angles with the actual piece itself. Like it is a triangular shape.
Okay.
But yeah, just make sure that last string that you pull across to the left, make sure you pull it up tight, and that's what will help alleviate a little bit of that extra triangle.
Yeah. And I'm still supposed to be like hooking it around the thing, right? Like going up and over it, or am I supposed to be doing something else?
No, you're not supposed to be like putting it around. So I think you're doing.
Oh, okay. I think that might be.
Yeah.
It's
It
sloping.
looks like you're almost creating a hammock, and that's really cool.
Yeah.
So.
It's definitely it's going. It's very pretty, but I think I might have to restart everything.
Think of it as like modern day macrame, right? If that's a thing.
So when do I stop going on the peg thing on the chopstick?
When you did the first 12 loops, right? That's it. Then you tie them off at the end, and then you're just weaving in and out, and you're bringing one over and bringing it back, but you're not actually looping around the peg.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Thanks so much. I got to get going, but this has been really, really cool. I'm legit so excited about this, and I'm going to finish mine.
Really, where are you at?
What's that?
What does it look like?
Oh, let's see if I can show you here. I had to start over halfway, so.
Nice.
Oh gosh, that looks so great.
Thanks. I was definitely doing it wrong at first, but then you re-explained. I was like, oh, okay. So now I'm on the right track.
Yeah, absolutely. That's awesome.
Thank you guys so much. This is awesome.
That looks great. And I was just going to say, Julie, before you go, I was going to ask everybody if it's okay if I take a screenshot of us. We always like to take a screenshot of when we have something chapter house here. So
totally. Yeah.
Okay, let's see. 1, 2, 3. Cheese. Weaving. Okay, cool. Thank you.
Cheese weaving? That sounds delicious.
Weaving. Oh, cheese weaving. That sounds bomb. Yeah. So everybody, let's do this for a couple more minutes, and then I know some of us have to go. So if anybody wants to hold up their creations and show us what you've done, that'd be really great. And again, we'll post this on our blog along with some other instructions, like Essay said, that she'll leave, or shots. And then also some more information like my mom talked about with the spirit line. I think that's something that was really cool that came out of this conversation, is, the idea of perfection and whatnot. So yeah, hold yours up. Wow, Katie, cool. Oh my God, Caitlin, Alita.
Yeah, and the other thing I wanted to say too is when everyone finishes there, if you want to like post it or if you want to send it to us, we'll like put it up on our Instagram. That'd be really cool.
And I'm going to go ahead and I think probably everybody follows us here, but I'll just put in our information too, so you can continue to keep up with us. We have a couple of events coming up. The next arts night that we have is going to be just a crafting circle. So bring whatever you're working on and then we'll just kind of chew the fat, as people said like hundreds of years ago. And so you can, if you want to share anything that you're working on, it'll be sort of like almost like an open studio visit or something, and we'll just see there. But I'm going to drop this into the chat here. Oh, and I wanted to also show everybody this because Katie was talking about her crocheting. This is what Katie made me last year, and it's my dog, Cindy.
So cute.
Right? And our other dog likes to chew out the eyes, so we find them all the time and have to put them back in. But
oh my goodness.
As always, if you need more eyes, I have like 48 of them, so I can replace those pretty quick.
Katie over here bragging about all her eyes.
Sure, I have so many eyes. You have no idea.
No idea. Eh?
Oh.
No. Okay. Etoe's like, no, that's not good. Please stop, Bessie.
I'm so bad. I have to look up what our Twitter is. I don't even know. I'm horrible at Twitter. Okay.
At least you still have your account, huh?
Ooh. Yeah, I thought Katie was going to bring up Bernie's mittens, by the way, something about crocheting with some mittens.
I cannot believe I forgot. Crocheting is more relevant than ever.
All parties love it.
Remember the sweater you made for your cat too?
That was like a cute meme that I showed you. I wish I made that sweater for my cat.
Oh, it looks like you made it though.
Thank you. I wish. Again, like that'd be so cute. Can you imagine like Ruthie in one of those?
Oh.
Emma, did you show her the hat that Sharon made for Cindy? Oh wait, I don't think I've sent it yet, huh?
I don't think you sent it yet, but I think I have a picture of it, so I'll have to show it too. Okay, everybody. Well, I'm going to stop the recording now. So I just want to say thank you again. And please make sure to follow us on social media. SA, thank you so much again for all of this instruction. It's been really cool. I'm going to hit you up afterwards about how to tie off better than I did. And please feel free to reach out to us if you have any more questions or if you have any suggestions or if you yourself even want to lead a class. We're constantly looking for people who can share their cultures, again, whether you're Indigenous or not. Nalita, I'm also obviously looking at your square here to hit you up. But yeah, just, you know, we're trying to build this online community and we want to make sure that everybody's included. So always feel free to reach out. And we have a couple of really cool things coming up this month. And also, I just wanted to give a little shout out to all of my family here for attending, but my sister, Isabella, who's in here as well, Izzy, who also helps a lot with the chapter house. So thank you to everybody who's pitched in, no matter what that looks like, but it means so much that you all took time out of your Friday to be here, and especially all of these new people who are here. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for inviting us. Thank you, SA, for gifting us with your talent. We appreciate it so much.
Yes, thank you so much, guys. Thank you, Emma, for inviting me. Thank you for the chapter house for putting this on. And SA, this has been awesome. Thank you so much. Like
Yeah,
the learning from someone who knows so much is really an honor.
Well, I appreciate that. I like to pretend I know a lot, but as I got into my later 30s, I realized I actually knew nothing. So yeah, no, this has been really special for me too. I honestly miss community. I miss being with people so much. And these spaces are so important for us to just connect, like try and weave, laugh at my really good jokes. And, you know, that's just be together. So hi.
Take care, everybody. Stay masked out there.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, SA.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.